What's going on, everybody? Welcome to yet another picks and preview show for Week 12. My name is Drew, and as always, joined by Mr. John Newman. How's it going, John?
Good. How's things going?
Doing good, man. Watching this ridiculously weird game on TV right now. It's a weird one for Thursday.
Yeah, Thursdays are, I don't know what it is. They just, something that's like a full moon for football. Just weird stuff happens.
That it does, man. So, do what?
I just say it seems like it's every year, those Thursday games. Just
I know.
some of the matchups aren't great, and then the ones that are, just some crazy stuff happens.
I know. Well, to tell you the truth, Watson, man, my buddy Paul, I don't know if he's watching. He actually brought this up on a comment as I'm looking at it right now. I really think he needs a different coach. I think they've got to do something there. They've got too much talent on that team, man. He's too good.
Yeah, I'm reading a lot on the message boards. A lot of the Texans fans, I think, are growing weary of Bill O'Brien. It's one of those. Can you probably for him to get fired, you got to lose more games, and it's tough as a fan to root for your team to not win so you can get a new coach. It's always a tough spot to be in.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you. So for those of you guys that are just joining us for the first time, this is our picks and preview show where we're going to go through and give you our 3 picks of the week and then our 1 lock of the week. And then for the first time this week, we're actually going to also be doing daily fantasy. So we're going to give you guys 1 stud and 1 sleeper each if you're into daily fantasy. That's in addition, every Sunday, you guys know I'll post my picks every Sunday. And hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, at least getting closer towards the playoffs, we can start a roughing the passer league because I'd love to play with some of you guys that watch the show. It's fun. I don't know. But anyway, John, let's dive right into it today. Playoffs, we can start a dive right into it today, and we'll do the. I guess we'll start out, John. I'll go on and start the show with my first pick of the week. And that is going to be the Raiders at -3 over the Jets. I'm sold on the Raiders. I love what they're doing. I think the Jets have a lot of problems. I think you're going to see towards the end of the year, I think they're going to regress back to what I thought they were going to be, which is pretty much fighting for one of those top 10 type of draft picks. So I've got the Raiders. I think -3 is shocking to me. I know I believe it is in New York. But I don't know. I'm taking the Raiders. I'm sold on them. I think they're actually probably a team that could sneak into the playoffs, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, the Jets, I just think this game scares me a little bit. I do like the same direction the Raiders are going like you do. I just worry that the Jets have to win sometime. Like when?
Yeah.
What week is that going to be? So. Yeah, if I pick this game, I think I'd go the same way too.
So my second pick for the week is actually we're going to go with an over-under here, and it is Cleveland and Miami, and I'm actually going to take the under at 44.5. Miami, they don't know how to play really bad. They don't know how to when they need to, at least. So I actually see them winning some games that they probably shouldn't. I don't see this as being that high scoring of a game, to tell you the truth. If it is a high scoring game, it's going to be a Cleveland blowout, like 35-3, which even then it's going to cover. So 44.5, way too many points for me. So taking the under on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. You're more you're taking more of a risk than I would.
I have to.
I could see this being sort of a 31-14, 31-17.
That's what they're predicting.
Yeah. So, boys, I think that one's gonna be close for you.
Yeah. Well, I got to take some chances here. You got a 3-game lead on me here, so got to play catch up. You had a really strong week last week, and I didn't. Oh my God, my allergies are killing me today. Our weather is terrible here. All right, and so my final pick before the lock of the week, at least, I was shocked when I saw this spread. Maybe I'm just not sold on the Eagles, but I'm taking Seattle at +1.5. I I don't see Philly. I honestly see Philly being one of those teams that probably ends up missing the playoffs. I think you're going to see a lot of moving in the next couple of weeks. And when I was looking at everything, which we're going to start doing Sunday, John, we're going to start taking a look at some of these playoff races because there's a lot of games this week that are incredibly important. This being one of them, and I don't know. This is a week I see Seattle and Russell Wilson. I can't see him losing this game. He's stepped up all year in the games that matter most. And if you're giving me a point, then I don't know. I'm taking Seattle at +1.5.
Yeah, when I was doing my picks, I looked at this game. I got to say, no one can say you're not ballsy. This game scares me either way. I really – it's going to be one of them fun games to watch because I think you can make a case on either team.
Either way.
And yeah, so I didn't touch this game just because I really wasn't sure which way to go with it.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know. It takes me a long time normally to get sold on Seattle. For some reason this year, I don't know. I'm really sold on them. And my lock of the week, I cannot believe that I'm about to put this pick up on the board. 3 weeks ago, I would have slapped myself for doing this, but I'm taking Atlanta at -4.5 for my lock of the week over Tampa Bay. I think that game is going to be a hell of a high scoring game. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think both quarterbacks are going to get theirs. You really can't go wrong on a fantasy standpoint with either of them. But I don't know. I like what Atlanta's doing since the bye week. Moving Raheem Morris back over to the defensive side it's energized their entire team. I don't know. Atlanta, it seems like Atlanta's going to go on one of these runs where they know they're not going to make the postseason, but they know they can really screw over the Saints, Panthers, Bucks, and a lot of other teams. And so I don't know. I don't see Atlanta losing this game, and 4.5, I think they end up winning this game by 14 or so.
I can't argue with you because I actually picked this game too. I didn't take it as my lock, but I feel the same way. Listen, this is crazy. Weeks ago we're talking about Dan Quinn selling his house,
right? Yeah,
and now they're winning. They are playing better. Atlanta's going or the Tampa Bay's going the other way. Winston's throwing 3 to 4 picks a week now, and so, I anticipate another game like that from him. Atlanta's starting to be an opportunistic team, and if they get 3 or 4 picks out of Winston, they're going to put points on those turnovers. And like you said, this has the makings of a blowout.
Yeah. No, absolutely. So those are my picks for the week. So, John, now let's move on to yours. Who you got this week, buddy?
Well, I just gave you the one. We're both taking the Falcons over the Tampa Bay Bucks. I kind of said why. Being said, watch them lose, and then Dan Quinn's back on the suicide watch again. So
wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, but it's a big point spread. I was a little leery doing it, and then you said something when when you made your picks.
Yeah,
you took the under, so I'm hoping you're wrong here because I got the Browns. But although they could win 24-10,
exactly.
I mean?
A 35-3 game, 35-6, which is very possible with the Miami Dolphins. That's an under. I love that pick at 10.5. I was really tempted to go after it. I think the Browns are finally starting to click. Chubb struggled in terms of not getting in the end zone. I think that changes this week. I think they're finally getting it together. OBJ is finally showing that he does actually play for the Browns because I got confused. I did not know he did.
I don't know for how much longer, but right now.
I don't know how much longer he does, but it's nice that he actually is showing up for a couple of games and kind of earning that money, so to speak. But I like to pick Browns 10.5. It's a good one. It's probably one of the reasons you're leading by 3 games.
Yeah, I don't know. I generally try to stay away from the double-digit point spreads. They usually come back and and burn you. And, when you think about a double-digit point spread, you always got to remember before this game starts, spread-wise, Miami's winning 10.5-0. And, I don't care who you are. That's a good chunk of change to get.
Probably the only time they're going to be leading all game, but hey, at least they can say they had a 10-point lead.
Yeah. And so I picked it. I try not to pick double-digit spreads, but I went with this one this week. The next game I took was they're playing not so great, and these are really two not so great teams playing each other, and someone has to win when that happens. Saquon Barkley's had a very un-Saquon-like year due to injury and some line issues. But I think the Giants, they're the underdog here. So I could see them. I could see them winning this game. And I think even if the Giants lose this game, I don't see Chicago putting up a big score to beat the Giants by 6. So I'm going to take the points here. I think the Giants may win the game, and I think even if the Giants lose the game, they're not going to lose by 6 points here. And Trubisky's not playing well. Daniel Jones has been kind of quiet. He's kind of due for another game to get that buzz going again. Barkley's got to get somewhat on track at some point. So this may be the week the Giants get it done. I think Chicago's trending in the wrong direction. It's now at the point where Matt Nagy every week's got to say Trubisky's still his guy. And when you get into that territory, plays pretty bad. So I'll take the points in the Giants.
Yeah, I damn it, I agree with you on this one too. Daniel Jones, if he's going to be that quarterback, if he's truly going to take over this team, he's got to win this game. And if he's not going to win it, you can't lose by 6 on this game. And I was shocked they were this high. I was really honestly going to pick it, but I had to go with a little riskier games because I figured you might pick this game. So I'm in agreement. I think Saquon's got to do something. This is a prime game for him too. The Bears, honestly, sorry, Chicago fans, they're just about to turn into a dumpster fire, I think. I think you're about to see Trubisky. I mean, they benched him last week, and then they covered it up like they do everything else. Don't buy the BS stuff in the press. They benched him because of performance. I don't care what they say. It was. And they've covered for him so much, and they can't expect people to not think that. As much as you've covered for him for junk in the past, you have to be prepared for that and for people to think that. And so I don't know. I'm not a fan of Chicago right now at all. I think they're going the wrong way. And I don't know. I really do like the Giants at +6 right here.
Well, I appreciate that. Hopefully we're both right.
Yeah. Well, hope I'm wrong. I hope they come out and beat the shit out of New York. No,
I just don't think they have enough firepower.
No, they don't.
So, like we said, I agree with you on the Atlanta-Tampa Bay game when we spoke about that already. So my lock of the week, and I'm not a big. I usually, if you noticed, if you watch the show, and I know you watch my picks, Drew, I don't take a lot of over and unders. But
no, you don't.
Yeah, I did here. I don't know why I made it my lock. That was probably the bad part of it.
I like this pick actually.
Yeah. And I know Lamar Jackson's playing well, MVP race now, and it's 46.5 for the Ravens.
Crazy high.
And well, I mean, I know the Ravens are scoring, but they scored a lot of points last week because of their defense.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'll probably reverse psychology, LJ here, but when he plays better teams and better defenses, we talked about this on this very program. His numbers kind of come down to just good, not great. Yeah. And you can say what you want about the Rams. Goff is not playing well himself.
No.
But the Rams defense is still fairly good. They added Jalen Ramsey, who I got a feeling is going to be in the game plan as far as how to contain Lamar Jackson. So I'm not saying the Ravens don't win the game.
Yeah.
I just don't see this as a shootout with
No.
these two defenses.
And that's where I agree with you on, because I think Baltimore, obviously we've seen Baltimore more than capable of putting up a lot of points on good teams. They've done it a couple times this year, but the Rams right now are struggling so much on offense, but they're finally starting to really feed Gurley a lot more. I think they're going to turn this in really. I think they know if they get into a shootout with Baltimore, they're done. And so I think you're going to see LA. I think you're going to really start to see them do this in a lot of their games, and that start to lean heavily on Todd Gurley. They started it a little bit last week. I think you're going to see it continue this week. And that's why I like this spread as an under, because I really think time of possession is going to be heavily in the Rams' favor in this game. Whether they win or not, that completely different story. But I think they're going to have a lot of ball control with Gurley. Even if they don't really get Gurley completely going, I think they're going to eat a lot of the clock and try and keep him off the field as much as possible. I mean, I think that's really all you can do when you don't have an offense that knows they can put up 40 or 50, which last year, before everyone had tape, you could say the Rams could easily do this. But now I don't know. I just don't see it. I like that under.
Yeah, I think you hit it right on the head. I think this is going to be ball control by the Rams, time of possession, keep Lamar Jackson off the field, give yourself a chance maybe to win the game. And if they do that, I mean, it's one thing to try to do, but if they're successful, it's going to be a lower scoring type game. I could see it even being like a 17-14, 20-17 type of grounded out sort of game. So that's why I went under. I mean, it a little nervous because, I mean, they, both of these teams are capable of scoring quickly. I just haven't seen it really from the Rams this year.
Yeah, so I mean, I agree with you. So there's the picks up on the screen, guys, for this week. As you can see, John does have a 3-game lead, 3.5, if you would say. But we've got, let's see. So we've got one of the same games this week, and that's it. So both of us have the Falcons. Otherwise, everything different. So maybe a chance to gain a little bit of ground on you.
I mean, a 3-game lead can be gone in 1 week.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It can. So, all right. So let's move on now to the new part of the show, which, guys, if you do have any DFS questions for the week, feel free to call in on the show. You can call in video or just audio, or comment right here, and we'll do our best to answer them for you. But, John, we're going to talk a little DFS. You and I both play, and for some reason we never addressed it on the preview show. So every week now on here, guys, we're going to give you each of us are going to give you one of our studs of the week, our guys that it's a must start in our eyes, and then one of our sleepers of the week. And then on Sunday, obviously, I'll post one of my full lineups like always. So, John, I'm going to let you start this off. And for your must start, your stud of the week, who you got?
Well, you talked a little bit about him in the open when you were talking about the Cleveland-Miami game. And so I'm going Nick Chubb here. I think this game sets up well. This game sets up well for him. I think they're going to lean heavily on the run. Get a lead and then kind of just really lean on the run. So this game, to me, it could be over 100 yards, a couple TDs, a couple catches with some more yards in there. This has like a Nick Chubb type game written on it.
Oh, that's actually a really good pick. Like I said, I think this is when he snaps his not getting in the end zone, so to speak, streak that he's had. And like you said, I could easily see them going up 17-0 and turning this into a Nick Chubb go have a field day type of game. It can easily happen. He's pricey, so you're gonna have to take another guy a little bit lower if you do have him, at least, unless you're going to take a lower tier quarterback, which I actually have a running back for you guys on my sleeper pick, which we'll get to in a little bit.
I wonder if we have the same guy.
I don't know. That'll be interesting. But But no, I actually like that pick. Like I said, I do think he gets in the end zone. He's a 3-down back for them now. So I mean, with the matchup, you almost have to go with him if you're going to go running back heavy. He's definitely somebody I'd build the team off of. But for my starter of the week, I really hate picking players from teams in the NFC South. But looking at this game, I talked about it a little bit already. I'm going with Matt Ryan at quarterback. And I would actually stack him. I haven't decided if I would stack him with Ridley or Julio. This kind of feels like one of those. Every year, Julio has one game against an NFC South team where he just goes off. And Ridley's going to do it against Carolina because we're stupid enough to put Dante Jackson on him every single time. So Julio, I could easily see him just going off. And I probably would stack Matt Ryan and Julio. But like I said before, this is going to be a high-scoring game. The winning team's probably going to put up 40. And Atlanta trending in the right direction. Matt Ryan's had a good year, and the last couple of weeks he's played lights out. So, I mean, you give me a shootout game. I think Winston actually does good. He plays good against Atlanta. I was tempted to actually take him, but the interceptions just turned me off because he's going to throw 2 or 3 and at least. So I don't know. I'm going Matt Ryan versus the Bucks, and I would easily stack him with either Ridley or, if you're going to take Matt Ryan, stack him with Ridley or Julio.
Yeah, I like that pick. I think Matt Ryan will probably have the highest quarterback score this week, or pretty darn close.
Unless that LA game turns into a massive shootout, then I could see Lamar Jackson doing it. But otherwise, I don't see anybody having a better matchup than Matt Ryan.
Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, so now for our sleepers, John, who you got? And you got me a little worried that we got the same player here.
Yeah,
I got a couple just in case.
It is a running back because you mentioned a running back.
Okay.
Let's see if we got the same guy or not. Right. I'm going. I'll just cut right. I'll cut out the drama and go right to it. I got Bo Scarborough.
Okay.
From Detroit. Nice. Kind of, he's a fill-in back, former Dallas guy. They cut him. Right now, he's playing halfway decent. They got some injuries at that position, and he's going up against the Redskins team that's not very good against the run. The only trepidation I have is it's Bo Scarborough. As far as the matchup goes, I like it. And when we're talking about sleepers, you have to pick a guy that's sort of off the grid. It's real easy to pick sort of maybe a bigger name, but I wanted to really go in the true spirit of it.
Well, if you're going with any type of standard format, classic scoring, I mean, even 50-50 games, if you've got a talented pool of people, you're going to need somebody that's low owned, that's very high risk, but incredibly high reward. And I think that's a good pick. Not the running back that I have. Did not even consider him. So solid job there, as he is incredibly he's a low money option that should get a handful of touches, and I actually think they have a chance to win that game. And they're playing decent right now, all things considered. So I don't know. I think that's a pretty good pick. And my sleeper of the week, also at running back, like I said, I looked at his price tag, and his price tag is at $4,600, and which is ridiculously low for a running back. He's finally healthy. And he was a second-round pick last year that's been hurt. Darius Geis for Washington. This kid, I don't trust Washington's passing game at all. I think last week he finally came back. He's finally healthy. He went 8. I think he had 8 touches for 69 or 70-something yards like that. Solid yards per carry. Great pass-catching back as well. And he was playing lights out before he got hurt. There was a ton of buzz around him before he got hurt, especially in the hobby as well. And so I don't know. I think Washington's at that point now where you're starting Haskins, so you're looking towards the future. You've had Geis. You've been waiting for him to get healthy. He's finally healthy. I think he's going to take a ton of carries away from Peterson, especially now going forward. And for $4,600, you're going to be able to get that Matt Ryan, Julio, type of stack, and then still still get a solid running back in Geis. So, I mean, I think he's somebody that's got really not even flex money. He's below flex pricing with a running back one upside with a favorable matchup against Detroit, which is one of the worst run defense teams in the league, especially when you've got Slay covering really the only receiver that Washington has. Yeah, I think this sets up perfect for guys.
Yeah, it's funny we picked running backs on opposite sides of the field, and who knows? It might be one of those games where they both break out and have big days, and we're both right. I could very well see that. You know?
I could too, man. All right, guys. Well, that's going to wrap up the picks and previews show. So as always, make sure to tune in Sunday at 10 o'clock. John and I will be back, and we'll be covering all of week 12. And like I said, guys, we're going to have a couple of new segments on the show, and we'd really love to have you guys call in. So if you see anything, if you have a question, disagree with anything we say, comment, do whatever you'd like. But Sunday, 10 o'clock as always. And Mr. Newman, until then, I will see you later.
All right. We'll see you in a couple days.